If it's your calling, it's going to keep calling. Welcome to Sauna Talks with Jada. Today, one of the things that I was just thinking about is the fact that so many of us have a calling on our life. And instead of chasing and pursuing that calling, so many of us hide behind the lens of failure. We hide behind self-doubt. We hide behind imposter syndrome. We hide behind the opinions of others. Why do we keep hiding behind all of these negative things instead of constantly believing in ourselves and pouring back into ourselves so that we can achieve what we know has been put on our life for us to achieve? It's so much bigger than money, cars, clothes, and all of those other distractions that are constantly being put in our face. It's bigger than how much are you able to travel? How much do you spend? This really comes down to who do we need to be? And so many of us have been told exactly who it is that we need to be. If you're anything like me, I know that you've received signs, wonders, messages about where your life is supposed to go, about the things that you're supposed to do, about the people that you're supposed to help change. But all too often, instead of committing to that, we end up committing to all these different distractions that are constantly coming up. I'll be honest with you all. When I really thought about doing these sauna talks, I just wanted to have really open, honest, and transparent conversations because I feel like so often we're hiding behind who it is that we want to pretend to be. But the fact of the matter is that, man, we're all dealing with stuff that we don't really talk to anybody about. I know that I am supposed to affect and change the lives of others, but instead of really digging deep into that and committing to that in the way that I know that I should have, plenty of times, I just let the distractions get the best of me. One of the things that's one of my biggest distractions, it actually has to do with women. I'll be honest. There's a lot of people that are afraid to say that. They're afraid to say that lust is something that takes over their mind on a consistent basis. But that's not really something that I'm afraid to say. I understand that this life that I live isn't only meant to be lived for me. It's really meant to be lived for others as well. So if there's a problem that I'm dealing with and I know that it can help somebody else, why would I not tell more people so that they can grow and change through that as well? When it comes to your purpose and your calling, there are going to be distractions that are placed around you. When it comes to your purpose and your calling, there's going to be different distractions that show up and they are supposed to deter you from actually achieving that calling. A lot of times, instead of us realizing that those distractions were put in place to deter us from the vision, we end up falling into those distractions. But why do we do that though? You know why you do that. You do that because the distractions feel good. The pleasures of life feels good. It feels good to be distracted. When you knew that you should have been dedicating your time to yourself on a Saturday night, it feels so much better to sit on the phone and talk to this beautiful woman that you met from whatever country or from whatever state. Trust me, I know, I understand. But the fact of the matter is that at some point, you do have to say, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. And I'm truly going to dedicate myself to the person that I know I'm supposed to be and to the change that I know that I'm supposed to make on the world. Yeah, sure. If it's your calling, it's going to keep calling. But also, just like any call, if you don't start picking up the phone, it will stop calling. Your calling is very similar to a person. If this person has a message to deliver to you, but you constantly keep letting the distractions and the BS stand in your way, instead of you actually committing to the calling, committing to the vision, committing to the dream, the calling will stop calling. Why? Because that calling can be delivered to someone else. There's only so much time that you can let go past where you consistently do what you're not supposed to do. When I read different spiritual texts, it talks about how God will deliver a vision to you. God will consistently deliver that vision to you. But if you do not take advantage of that vision, God will take that vision away and will give it to the person who is prepared. So, are you going to consistently put yourself in this position where your vision can be snatched away from you, where your calling can be given to somebody else? Or are you going to get dialed in, get focused, get disciplined, and deny the distractions? Not only do you have to deny distractions, you have to take it a step further and you have to starve the distractions. Why? Because distractions are very, very similar to a leech. You're sitting up here thinking that you can just keep on giving and giving and giving and giving to these distractions. But the fact of the matter is that you can't. You only have so much to give. You only have so much life. You're only going to receive so many visions. You're only going to receive so many opportunities. How many people in your bloodline had something that they were supposed to be committed to? They had a calling that they were supposed to be committed to. And instead of focusing on that calling, they decided to let those distractions get the best of them. What if that's what happened in your last generation, and that's the reason why life has been so hard for you in this generation? Imagine how many distractions your mother and your father had in their lives, and instead of them starving those distractions like I'm sure you wish they would have, they decided to indulge in those distractions. Imagine how many marriages ended because one of the partners decided to indulge in the distractions instead of starving the distractions. Imagine how many innocent children lost their lives because they decided to indulge in the distractions instead of starving the distractions. At some point, you have to starve the distractions. At some point, you have to lock in, as the people say. At some point, you have to dedicate yourself to the vision. You cannot continue to be this distracted forever. And I know that you don't want to. I know that you don't want to, because I know that you get up in the morning, you go look in that mirror, you brush your teeth, you wash your face, you take a shower. And then when you get out, I know a lot of days you want to be doing something else. I know that you see yourself making six figures. I know that you see yourself making millions. I know that you see yourself writing books. I know that you see yourself leading thousands. I know that you see these things within yourself, but I also know that the night before, you probably let those distractions get the best of you. And instead of you being able to pull the best out of yourself today, all you have is the minimum. The best that you have to give today is the minimum. But you and I both know that the minimum is not what's going to work. With the vision and the calling that has been placed on your life, I know for a fact that the minimum amount of effort, the minimum amount of discipline, the minimum amount of consistency, I know that it is impossible for that to be enough. How do you plan on impacting millions and changing your family generationally if you can't even manage to starve your distractions for a year? If it is your calling, it will keep on calling. But if you are not picking up the phone, your calling is not going to act like you are the only person that can get it done. Sure, you might be special. You are not special enough to be an exception to the rule. Calling is calling. The distractions are calling. The ladies are calling. The parties are calling. The friends are calling. Question for you is which of the phone calls are you going to decide to answer on a consistent basis?